My name's Chris Hargraves. I run Known, Liked and Trusted Digital Marketing for Lawyers and Law Firms. And in this short video, I'm going to run you through the absolute essentials of an effective law firm marketing strategy. The first thing we need to do is we need to have a sharp focus on who our clients actually are. Who are we looking for and how do we help them solve their problems? If we can't identify the people, what their problems are, and how we solve them, then everything else we're about to talk about is ultimately going to fail. As a general rule, we want to go as narrow as possible. We want to have a sharp understanding, a detailed appreciation of who our clients are, what they really care about achieving, their burning desires, and what are they afraid of? What are the things that could go catastrophically wrong? What are the risks they want to manage? We want to know how we can help them. We want to know where in their life cycle or their business cycle our services come into play. If we don't understand our clients and we don't know them well and we cannot define them, then we haven't got a hope of being able to market effectively to them. So that is step one in any sort of effective law firm marketing strategy. Next, we're going to talk about websites. What would the world be without a website for your law firm? And that's about the amount of thought that goes into a lot of law firm websites. Here's a basic understanding of how a law firm website needs to work. First, it needs to be simple. It doesn't need 4,782 buttons. It needs to be simple and it needs to have a strategy. What is it you want people to do when they hit your website? Most law firms haven't thought about this. They just go for the prettiest sites, they hand it straight to a designer, they don't consider the strategy behind it. If someone hits my website, which is getting harder and harder to make happen in the first place, how do we want them to behave? Where do we want them to go? What is the outcome we want our website to actually help generate for people? Do we want them to click on things? Do we want them to telephone us? Do we want them to fill out a form? Do we want them to join our newsletter list? These are the main objectives, the main calls to action, but you can't necessarily have all of them. The more things you have, the less likelihood someone's going to do any of them, and that's not going to help your marketing in any way, shape, or form. Take your website, zoom out a bit, figure out the answers to these questions, and remove as many things from it as humanly possible that aren't directly on point, targeted to assisting people to take that step that you want them to take. But what about the language? What should you write on a website? We've already half solved it. We've defined our client, we know them well, we understand their problems. So on your website, you're going to say who you are, what problem do you solve, how do you solve it, and why should they come to you? That's really all you need to deal with. If your website is vague, it's not going to achieve anything for you. If you're using cute phrasing that ultimately causes confusion, it's not going to do anything for you. Just be clear, use simple language, tell people how you help them. It's as simple as that. Once we go from website, we're going to move into content. Content marketing is a huge area. Most law firms have been doing it for some time, from print newsletters to emails, to articles, to seminars, to formal papers, academic work, studies. Lawyers are engaged in content every day of the week. The problem is a lot of the content is very poor from a marketing perspective. The expertise is there, but the marketing element is not. Write content that helps address the fears and desires that you've already defined in step one. How is your content speaking to the people you want to be speaking to? Is it only talking to other lawyers? Is it written in a way that only lawyers understand or care about? Is it on topics that only lawyers understand or care about? How are you making it relevant and helpful and valuable for the actual clients that you went to the trouble of defining at the early stages? If the content isn't helpful for them, it's not good content. Content marketing is the process of engaging with a well understood and defined audience of people with a view to them taking some sort of profitable action. Maybe it's joining your newsletter list, maybe it's following you on social media, maybe it's sending you referral work, or maybe it's calling you directly to do something. Whatever the case may be, if it's not for that person that you understand, then it's probably not going to achieve that, and it will get lost in the sea of other people trying to do the same thing. After content comes social media. It's very hard to have a law firm brand achieve anything on social media, and fundamentally the reason is we're afraid to let our law firms have any personality. We're very good at developing personal relationships online, on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it might be, but we're much less good at allowing our firms to have personalities. We strip the personalities out before we let the brand engage on anything, and as a result, not many law firm social media channels are particularly successful. However, that doesn't have to be the case. If you can post things that are meeting the same criteria as a good content marketing strategy, if you can engage with people, actually respond to comments, reach out to people, put out content that is valuable and helpful, maybe even sometimes funny. It's not against the law to be funny under your law firm brand. If you have a useful, helpful social media channel, then people will gradually come to it. It's not as easy as it used to be, but it is still possible. After social media, content, and website comes email marketing. For some reason, many new law firms are forgetting email marketing entirely and only going with those first three elements. An email database remains the mainstay of most digital marketing efforts. Why? Because if you only have social media followers, they can be taken away from you at a moment's notice. We saw people invest thousands, tens of thousands of dollars into developing social media followers on Facebook, only to have Facebook take away your ability to even reach those people, and now you have to pay to reach the people you paid to get. So if you have an email database, you are collecting names and email addresses of relevant audience-defined people that you can send your content to directly. You own the list. No one can take it away from you at any time. You can communicate with those people. You're not building your house on rented land. Develop a strategy to build your email database. What does that mean? Generally, it means provide something valuable in exchange for someone's email address. You've probably done it yourself. It's download the free ebook, get the free video series, get this checklist to help you do the thing, but it's got to be for the people you did in stage one. There's no point having a checklist designed to help you register a trademark if you're an employment law firm. That makes no sense. You would probably not do it, but I've seen some almost as bad. Have something. You, me, most people these days aren't just going to throw out our email address just to join a newsletter list. We generally want to get something out of it, and then we generally want to keep getting value out of it, or we're going to unsubscribe. So don't take your email people as just names on a list. They are human beings who want to have value provided to them on a regular basis, or they unsubscribe, and it's a lost opportunity. These four elements, website, content, social, email, form the mainstay of an effective marketing campaign for every law firm. If you do not have those things in place, or they are not functioning well, or you haven't put the effort or the research or the time or the expertise into developing them and getting them working properly, then ultimately you are losing opportunities. And that's what marketing is designed to provide. Opportunities for people to say yes to you, to send you work, to send you referrals, to know, like, and trust you, so that it's more likely, all things being equal, that they will do business with you and not your competitor. Of course, in the world of marketing, there are many other things. Every day there is a new idea, a new strategy, a new secret that someone wants to sell you, but these four things being in place will be the mainstay. Of course, you can look at search engine optimization, you can look at advertising on various platforms, you can look at live chat, but without those other elements already in place and working well for you, those things will probably not necessarily move the needle. You need to have the other things in place, and you need to be getting good results from them, and then you can start building up into other more interesting areas, and you will see more and more success over time. That is how marketing works. That is my take on the fundamentals of law firm marketing. That's all I have time for today. I'll see you next time.